the KMNN studios, this is the Kids Morning News Network.
Good morning, friends. It's July 24th, 2024. 160 days left in the year. I'm Alex in the KMNN studio in New York. It's National Amelia Earhart Day. Amelia Earhart, as you may know, was a very famous pilot back in the early days of aviation. Today was her birthday, back in 1897. In the late 1920s and early 1930s, when most pilots were men, Amelia Earhart was a pioneering woman in the skies. She was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean as a passenger, and then became the first woman to fly across it as a pilot, alone. She was also the first pilot, man or woman, to fly alone from Honolulu, Hawaii to Oakland, California. She was a leader in the effort to let women vote, an author, and a pilot in air races, along with, setting more flying records. In 1937, she set out to become the first woman pilot to fly around the world. She made it most of the way. But over the Pacific Ocean, she and her navigator disappeared. To this day, people are still working to figure out what happened, but all her amazing achievements live on. Happy birthday, Amelia Earhart. The Olympics begin today. I know the opening ceremony isn't until Friday, right? Well, that is the official opening day, but some events are starting a bit early. They're so excited, they just can't wait. Soccer, or football if you don't live here in the U.S., and rugby are both beginning today. And among the teams facing off today are the United States and France. The men's soccer teams will take the pitch this afternoon, U.S. time, and I'll have the results for you on Friday. We're still a long way from any medals being handed out, of course, but the medals at the Paris Summer Olympics this year will have something very special in them. Each one will have a chunk of iron from the Eiffel Tower. If you watch the medal ceremonies, you might see that it's right there in the middle of the gold, silver, and bronze medals. It looks like a gray chunk of iron. Now, they didn't cut holes in the Eiffel Tower to make the medals. The iron comes from metal that was removed during renovations over the years and put into storage. That's good, because between the Olympics and the Paralympics later this month, around 5,000 medals will be awarded. If they had to cut out a piece of the Paris landmark for every medal, the French Tower might look like Swiss cheese. On this day in 1911, an American archaeologist named Hiram Bingham got his first look at a lost city perched high in the mountains of Peru. It didn't come as a total surprise. He went to Peru to look for the rumored lost cities left behind by the ancient Inca culture. But when local people led him almost 8,000 feet up a steep mountain, Bingham was amazed by what he saw. Machu Picchu, which means something like Old Mountain, has about 200 buildings surrounded by terraces to grow crops. It has temples and neighborhoods and irrigation, all made out of stones cut to fit together so perfectly they don't need cement. It's now one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, with more than 1 million visitors a year. And like Hiram Bingham, they still have to walk up the mountain to get to the historical city. All right, it's riddle time. Monday's riddle was, if you drop me, I will crack, but smile at me, and I'll smile back. What am I? A mirror. Today's riddle is, what is as big as an elephant, but weighs nothing? As big as an elephant, but it weighs nothing. I'll give you the answer on Friday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to the Kids Morning News Network in your podcast app so you don't miss it. You know that the ocean is a really important part of the planet. Half the oxygen we breathe comes from the ocean. For a long time, scientists believed that oxygen from the ocean was made by plants. Like plants on land, plants in the ocean use sunlight for photosynthesis. But now it seems like some of the ocean's oxygen may come from the deepest depths, down where there is no sunlight. This is what is being called dark oxygen. It's made by lumps of metal called nodes that form on the ocean floor over millions of years. These nodes make a weak electric current, weak but strong enough to actually split the molecules of seawater. Now, water, you may know this, is H2O. It's got 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. When it's split, oxygen and hydrogen are released and they float up to the surface. And since oxygen is being made deep down in the ocean where there is no sunlight, scientists also think this process could possibly happen on other planets. Well, I know this sounds familiar, but we're looking at rain in the eastern half of the country today and heat out west. Today it's going to be hot in the northern plains along with the desert southwest. Haze and smoke from wildfires will be seen in Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Colorado, and all the way over to South Dakota. Well, that's the show. Thank you very much for listening. I'll be back on Friday, and I hope you are too. Make sure you follow or subscribe to the Kids Morning News Network on your podcast app. From the KMNN Newsroom, this is Alex signing off.